with a degree in industrial education, and the Naval Postgraduate School with a master's degree in mechanical engineering. Admiral Yount served in the United States Navy from 1967 to 2001 and received many commendations for his service, including the Navy Distinguished Service Medal, Legion of Merit, 2 gold stars, Meritorious Service Medal with 4 gold stars, Navy Commendation Medal with 3 gold stars, and a Combat V. Following Admiral Yount's retirement from the Navy, he was employed by the shipbuilding sector of the Northrop Grumman Corporation. It is my pleasure to introduce to you Rear Admiral George R. Yount.
Thank you, Post Commander Miller, Mayor Richards, councilmen, fellow veterans, distinguished guests, family and friends of those whom we honor today, welcome. It is my high honor and privilege to thank those that have gone before for their personal sacrifice, honor, courage, and commitment to our great nation. To be sure, we're grateful and thankful for all veterans for their unselfish service in sustaining our American way of life. But today we give special thanks to those who so love their country that they lay down their own lives for all of us. The last verse of the Marine hymn tells us that if the Army and the Navy ever looks on heaven's scene, they'll find the streets are guarded by United States Marines. Not only do I believe that, but I also believe that all men and women that have worn the cloth of this nation stand with them, shoulder to shoulder. No one ever goes to war expecting not to return. Yet, when a death occurs, the willingness of some to give their lives so that others may live never fails to evoke in us a sense of wonder and mystery. And nowhere is that feeling more powerful than in a cemetery. Cemeteries are a very special place in our society. Whether you witness the sanctuary of the military cemeteries in Europe, the Punch Bowl in Hawaii, gaze at the neatly aligned rows of headstones in Arlington, or stroll through the history of River Falls here at Greenwood, you can sense that you are on hallowed ground. These are monuments to men and women who gave their all, unconditionally, unhesitatingly, and with focused purpose. These men and women all had a common virtue. They took an oath to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. They took their oath seriously. They did their jobs perfectly, and we are grateful now and forever. Unfortunately, not every person is enshrined in a cemetery. So we build monuments like this enduring memorial where we gather today, designed with caring detail by Neil Anderson, funded by the generosity of the collective community of River Falls, and paved with the memory of those from this community that did us the honor of serving America. This is hallowed ground, and these men and women have earned our thanks and praise. Every community knows the young men and women that have joined the armed forces and, like their families, hold their breath when those soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, Coast Guardmen, and merchant mariners are sent into areas of conflict. The community rejoices when their servicemen and women return safely, and the community mourns should a death occur. Similar to the phrases, remember the Alamo, remember the Maine, remember Pearl Harbor, the nation coined a new phrase after the terrorist attacks on 9/11, never forget. It is precisely that, never forget, that brings us together today. The community of River Falls collided with the steep price of war during Vietnam, with the tragic and untimely deaths of Marine Corps Captain John Thomas Chapman, and then Army Specialist 4th Class Thomas Joseph Murphy. I am certain that those of you who knew John or Tom can immediately recall not only your friendship, but the day you received the news of their death. You honor them both because you have never forgotten. In today's campaigns, the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan to date have claimed nearly 5,900 of our nation's finest, 106 from Wisconsin. And in your neighboring towns, they have grieved when Specialist Benjamin Smith of Hudson, age 21, was killed by an improvised explosive device that exploded by his Humvee. When Private First Class Bert E. Hoyer of Ellsworth, age 23, was killed when explosives hit his convoy. And Sergeant First Class Jesse B. Albrecht, age 31, of New Richmond, was killed by an improvised explosive device. And Petty Officer Second Class Jamie S. Jenke, age 29, she was killed when her Humvee struck a bomb. These men and women take their place on the roll of honor, and as they fell, others unhesitatingly stepped forward to fill the gap in the line. For that is America's strength, to rally for the cause and fight with all our might to preserve the very freedoms that form the foundation of our great nation. Wars are not popular, and they are least popular to those that have to fight them. It's often been said that we wonder why the worst of men must fight and the best of men must die. That is a tragedy of war. In the principal conflicts that have involved our nation, the men and women of Wisconsin have consistently distinguished themselves. Of the 625,000 Civil War casualties, 12,301 were from Wisconsin. Of the 117,000 World War I casualties, 1,037 were from Wisconsin. Of the 405,000 World War II casualties, 10,711 were from Wisconsin. Of the 54,000 Korean War casualties, 898 were from Wisconsin. And of the 58,000 Vietnam casualties, 760 were from Wisconsin. And as mentioned previously, of the 5,900 Iraq and Afghanistan casualties, 106 are from Wisconsin. As I review the awful price that has been paid throughout the years, my mind turned to the final stanza of the Battle Hymn of the Republic. In the beauty of the lilies, Christ was born across the sea. With a glory in his bosom, he transfigured you and me. As he died to make men holy, let us die to make men free. Though we live in the land of the free, and we cherish all our freedoms, willed to us by those that have gone before, it is clear that freedom isn't free. A verse from a poem by Commander Kelly Strong of the United States Coast Guard, retired, makes the point very eloquently. I heard the sound of taps one night when everything was still. I listened to the bugler play and felt a sudden chill. I wondered just how many times the taps had meant amen, when a flag had draped a coffin of a brother or a friend, I thought of all the children, of the mothers and the wives, of fathers, sons, and husbands with interrupted lives. I thought about a graveyard at the bottom of the sea, of unmarked graves in Arlington. No, freedom isn't free. We are fortunate to have the freedoms given to us by so many selfless men and women throughout our nation's history. Let us never forget. May God bless those who we honor today. God bless our troops wherever they may serve. May God bless each and every one of you, and may God continue to bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Admiral. At this time, I'd like to have Tom Kaflish give his recognition of the honored families.